Okay guys, today's rapid response comment was left by Codex247. I'd love to see you do a video on your personal Legion of Doom video. Think of this like your Sinister 6 videos, but for your perfect versions of the Legion of Doom for the Justice League. So this is a great suggestion, and the Legion of Doom is probably the most popular group of villains that the Justice League can go up against, mainly because they are consistent of the Justice League's greatest foes, or just some of their villains in general. So if you've been here long enough, you probably already know this, and if you're new here, well then I definitely suggest you be clicking that subscribe button right about now. My Justice League does not consist of Aquaman. My perfect iteration for the team is Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Flash, Martian Manhunter, and Zatanna. I really like the idea of her being part of the team. For this video, I have consisted a character in here to be more particular for Zatanna, but for the people who do like Aquaman in their Justice League, I have also added in a character who would be there for Aquaman. I like to think that my version of the Legion of Doom is as balanced as possible. It's got everything you need: intelligence, powers, abilities, all of it. So the leader of the Legion of Doom, and I think it's pretty obvious, is Lex Luthor. I've kind of come to this conclusion that if Lex Luthor is not part of the Legion of Doom, it really doesn't feel like the same team anymore. I just think Lex Luthor has way too many reasons on why he's perfectly fit for this team and why he would be the one to craft a Legion of Doom to go up against the Justice League. A lot of his jealousies, a lot of his hatreds, a lot of his dislike, not just for Superman, but for the other Justice League members in general, is what's really setting this team up. A big thing with the Legion of Doom is we have seen versions of this team filled with tons of intelligent people. We've seen a Legion of Doom with both Lex Luthor and Gorilla Grodd. There's even been one with Brainiac. I feel like that is way too dangerous on a team like this for a group of people who would want to control, who would want to have all the power, who would want everyone to go along with their plan. And Lex Luthor in ways is the epitome of what a control freak is. So why would he want to share that power with anyone who is even on a somewhat similar level of a genius level intellect that he's at? Because of this, I think Lex Luthor would have to craft this team in his perfect image, and he would exactly know what characters to go to, so he would never feel like his position as leader is being thwarted or taken away from him. What his plan remains, and what he says goes. Cheetah is also part of this team, and I think it is a perfect placement, not just because we've seen her on the Legion of Doom before, but because this adds now a personal connection for Wonder Woman. Cheetah is mainly going to be there because she has been promised that she will be able to get to Wonder Woman. Nothing else is as important to her as being able to have the opportunity to take her down. I also considered Giganta, and especially Earth 2 Giganta, because that is the one where she was even born as an Amazonian. The Legion of Doom is a great excuse for our hero's greatest enemies to band together, so Giganta would not be a bad option, but I would still say at the end of the day, Cheetah would be my go-to, considering she is the more than likely number one, or at the very least the number two enemy of Wonder Woman. She might, of course bounce around and fight some of the League members here and there, but at least Lex Luthor will know that she will deal with Wonder Woman. Her thoughts on what she's doing part of this team is completely in check. I also have Mirror Master, and the reason why I'm going here is because Mirror Master is offering a lot for Lex Luthor: espionage, stealth, and theft. And not just any petty sort of theft. He could go in and do some real damage. For example, whatever this Legion of Doom is doing, maybe Lex Luthor is creating or crafting something. If he needed something top secret, if he needed something big, Mirror Master offers that opportunity to be able to break in and steal anything at will with ease. Mirror Master is a great character to be able to strip away away the Flash's speed, in the sense that he's not flat out taking his speed force away from him, but he's almost putting a vice on it. He's putting a chokehold on it. The Flash now can no longer solve all his problems by speeding around, blitzing everything when you have someone like Mirror Master. He now causes complete confusion. I know we all think of Gorilla Grodd, of course, as the mind games villain when it comes to the Flash, but if you utilize Mirror Master properly, you could argue that he plays those exact same mind games, just in a far different and more strategic way. I've also placed here Sinestro. Now, of course, in his own right, being the leader of the Sinestro Corps, you could argue that maybe there would be some tension for leadership with Lex Luthor here, but I don't think Sinestro ever has any sort of interest leading a Earth-based team against the Justice League when he could really just do it his own way if he ever wanted to do something like this. Lex Luthor needs to find this character in a state of revenge base or jealousy. Maybe he has been thwarted by Hal or John Stewart too many times, depending on who your Green Lantern is in your Justice League variation. This is a situation where Sinestro basically says, you are not the boss of me, but as long as I am part of this team, I can relinquish that power and become a team player for a time being. But if I notice things are not working over time, I am out of here and I am doing things my own way. And it would be good for the Legion of Doom to have their own emotional spectrum type of a character, because when you look at the rest of the Justice League, you can find different characters all over the DC universe, good, bad, or neutral, who all have similar abilities: super strength, flight, even some characters who might be super fast. Sure, not as fast as the Flash, but fast enough. There's no one who can really replicate what Green Lantern can do with his ring. So why not seek out the help and assistance of someone like Sinestro, who can perfectly counteract willpower? Now, I have two options here, and it wouldn't be both of them, it would be one or the other. It would be either Deathstroke or Bane, and I feel like both of these characters would have their own reasons on why they would join the team. Both of these characters would want to get to Batman for their own particular reasons. Very similar to Sinestro and Green Lantern, Deathstroke could feel as if he has been thwarted by Batman way too often, and he now wants to prove that he could not only just go up against Batman, but he could go up against superpowered Justice League members as well. And 100%, if the money is good enough, Deathstroke will take the opportunity presented by Lex Luthor. I think Bane offers a little more of a personal connection, considering that he is one of Batman's top 3 arch enemies, or that's the way I like to see it at the very least. And Bane has become a character over time who is not simply just a roided out wrestler. This is a character who has become just as good as a strategist and tactician, and frankly even a fighter just as good as Batman. And I mean, just using this version as an example, if you took a Bane from Arkham Origins and threw him part of this team, this Legion of Doom would be crazy deadly. But once again, maybe Lex Luthor would not want to go that route, considering that Bane can have this almost natural born leadership to the character that Lex will want to avoid. And I know, I can hear it now, Deathstroke's not a Batman villain. Well, you know, frankly guys, he's a Titans villain, a Batman villain, a whole DC universe villain. He's a mercenary. If the money's there and the challenge and the threat is there, he will take it. And no one's saying that Deathstroke needs to be part of this team forever, but I think in the first go of the Legion of Doom, I do believe he offers a lot more pros for Lex Luthor in the moment. And another thing I'll add here is we do absolutely love to see Batman get his martial arts challenged. Both Bane and Deathstroke would do this, but Deathstroke would 100% be able to challenge Batman a little bit more with how many martial art forms he does know, and this would be one of the battles for the ages if we were to see this on screen or something. Now, I have another two options here. Once again, it wouldn't be both, it would only be one, but it is Solomon Grundy or Dr. Destiny, and here's my reasoning for either of these characters. These two characters would primarily be focused on Martian Martian Manhunter more than likely. Solomon Grundy is going to be the punching bag. He's going to be somebody who can take a lot of hits. He's a zombie. You cannot kill him. He's just going to keep coming back. It's really hard to keep him down. However, with Dr. Destiny, the fact that he can telepathically enter minds, place illusions, dreamcast, and especially things you simply don't want to see or think about, I think that would be very destructive for a character like Martian Manhunter. And with one of Martian Manhunter's biggest powers being his telepathy, it would be really interesting to see how he would handle what Dr. Destiny is throwing at him. And I think Lex Luthor would really want the utilization of a character like him. When you have a team that consists of Martian Manhunter, Wonder Woman, and Superman, three top dog, super strength, heavy hitters, you're definitely gonna want to find a character who could potentially incapacitate Martian Manhunter. So yeah, as you can tell, even though I like both options for characters, I'm going Dr. Destiny. I also have the Shade as a full member of this team, and I think if you look back on history, he is originally written to be a Flash villain, but I would actually use him in the instance as being a villain for Zatanna. His darkness manipulation, his teleportation, and some of the constructs he can make with it are actually well suited to go up against pretty much any character in the Justice League. But 100% he is being used as the distraction. He is being used as somebody who's capable of taking time away from the Justice League because they can't see where they're going or what they're doing. And this is a situation where we would have to rely on Zatanna's magic to find a way to keep him down or to basically counteract anything he tries to do. He can even summon demonic creatures from his dark zone, and how we would see Zatanna utilize her magical properties to take on the Shade would be really interesting. Then for anybody who has Aquaman part of their Justice League, I think there is truly only one right answer to this, and it is Black Manta. This is a guy who hates Arthur. This is a guy who doesn't just want to kill him, but he wants to take everything away from him. Very much so, just like Cheetah or Sinestro. You could even say Deathstroke and Bane. Even though he is just completely focused on Aquaman, he's going to treat this as a domino effect. If one Justice League member goes down, why not continue with the others and keep toppling them over? So those are the main members of my Legion of Doom team. But no, it does not just stop there. I have two other characters I want to quickly introduce and my reasonings for it. The first of the last two characters is the Joker. We've all seen the Joker take part in the Legion of Doom before. We all know that Joker does not really play well with others, not because he's the one with the problem, it's the other people around him who don't like to work with him and don't trust working with him. Also too, Joker always has his own plan in mind. He always has his own rules to the game. I do love the idea, however, whenever the Legion of Doom teams up, even if Joker was never invited or never told, he somehow always finds a way to infiltrate their squad and make himself part of it. Lex Luthor never really likes it, and he never really wants him there or invested in any kind of way. And even though it frustrates him, he deals with the frustration because his plan to take out the Justice League is far more vital than taking care of this mentally insane clown jumping around and laughing everywhere. Of course, with a story like that, this would just be another excuse for the Joker to mess around with Batman, and now also finding a reason to mess around with the rest of the Justice League, but at the end of the day, it really is just coming down to Batman. Once again, I'm not saying Joker would be part of my team. I'm just saying I've always liked the idea of the Joker putting himself somewhere he does not belong. And then the very last character who I would actually utilize in a Legion of Doom story is Amazo. I would have it so that Lex Luthor created Amazo. Where it gets even more dangerous is, yes, we always talk about Amazo is capable of analyzing the Justice League and literally stealing their powers, becoming every one of those characters. But what this Amazo does is he doesn't just go after the Justice League powers, he does gain all of the Legion of Doom's powers. So now this Amazo has upwards of 14, 15 different characters' entire powers and abilities. And you would now have to see yourself in a situation where the entire Justice League, with certain members of the Legion of Doom, they would actually have to band together and take out Amazo. That is my Legion of Doom squad and some of the stories that come along with every character and their reasons for joining up. So Codex, thank you for the comment, and everyone comment below what your ideal Legion of Doom would look like. That is all I have for you on this video, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed, and until next time, I will talk to you all very soon.